Lusail Stadium, July 2026. 89,000 people holding their breath. And then, a left foot, a curl, a net rippling in the desert air. Lionel Messi has just scored his 20th World Cup goal, a number no human being has ever reached, a record that survived 96 years, gone in a single touch. This is not just a football story. This is the story of every man who ever owned this stage, and the one who finally conquered it. Since 1930, the World Cup has been football's ultimate crucible. 32 nations, 64 matches, one trophy, and in 96 years of competition, only a handful of men have left a mark so deep that the tournament itself bends around their memory. We're counting down the 10 greatest World Cup players of all time, not by reputation alone, but by what they actually did when the whole world was watching. Some names you know, some will surprise you. All of them changed the game forever. We begin with four men who redefined what it meant to perform on the biggest stage. Number 10, Kylian Mbappé. 25 years old, 2 World Cup finals, a hat trick against Argentina in 2022 that nearly rewrote history on its own. 8 goals across 3 tournaments, and almost certainly more to come in 2026. At his age, the record isn't a ceiling, it's a starting point. Number 9, Ronaldo, not the Brazilian, Cristiano Ronaldo. Portugal's captain across 5 World Cups. 7 goals. A man who chased this stage his entire career and never quite found the final step. The platform was global. The performances were iconic. The trophy remained just out of reach. Number 8, Pelé. 3 World Cup titles. The only man in history to win it 3 times. 12 goals across 4 tournaments. In 1958, at just 17 years old, Pelé scored twice in the final. He wasn't a player on that stage. He was the stage. Number 7, Ronaldo, the Brazilian. Ronaldo Luis Nazario de Lima. 15 goals, 2 World Cup titles, and one of sport's most dramatic redemption arcs. The convulsions before the 1998 final, the silence that followed, and then 2002. 4 years later, in Yokohama, he scored twice against Germany to close the loop on one of football's most haunting stories. Number 6, Gerd Müller. They called him Der Bomber. 14 goals across 2 World Cups, 1970 and 1974. In an era without video analysis, without sports science, without the machine of modern football, Müller operated on pure predatory instinct. He didn't beat defenders. He simply appeared, already in position, already turning, already striking, before anyone else had processed the moment. West Germany won the 1974 World Cup on home soil, and Müller scored the winner in the final. Efficiency elevated to art. Number 5, Diego Maradona. 8 goals don't tell the story. They never could. Argentina's Diego Maradona in 1986 is arguably the single greatest individual tournament in football history. The hand of God, the goal of the century, a 60-meter run past 6 England players that defied physics and logic and everything else. He didn't just carry Argentina, he carried the weight of an entire nation still raw from war and delivered a World Cup on his back. Number 4, Miroslav Klose, 16 goals, 4 World Cups. Germany's Miroslav Klose is the quietest legend in this list. A man who accumulated greatness across 16 years without a single moment of theater. No infamous hand, no 60-meter solo run. Just goal, 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 goal. His record of 16 World Cup goals stood for 12 years as the summit of the sport. And when it fell to a man we'll meet very soon. Number 3, Just Fontaine. 13 goals, 1 tournament. France's Just Fontaine arrived at the 1958 World Cup in Sweden as a replacement striker. A backup who only played because another player was injured. He proceeded to score 13 goals in 6 games, a rate that has never been approached in the tournament's entire history. His record for most goals in a single World Cup has stood for 68 years. No one has come within 5 goals of it. Just Fontaine didn't play the World Cup, he detonated it. Number 2, and this is where the list becomes genuinely painful to write, because the man sitting at number 2 is not here by accident or by lack of greatness. He is here because of one man, and one man only, Zinedine Zidane. France's Zinedine Zidane played 3 World Cups and scored 5 goals. That number alone tells you nothing. In 1998, on home soil in Paris, Zidane headed in 2 goals in the final against Brazil to give France its first ever World Cup. He was not a striker. He was a conductor. And on that night, he became the most important player on the planet. In 2006, at 34 years old in what would be his final professional match, Zidane delivered a performance of such luminous quality in the final against Italy that France nearly won again. He left the pitch early. You know why. But for 90 minutes before that moment, he was the greatest player alive. Number 1. Lionel Messi, 20 World Cup goals, 5 World Cup tournaments, and a 2022 final against France that may be the greatest single match ever played. Messi scored twice that night. Argentina won on penalties. And a 35-year-old man, widely written off, widely doubted, lifted the only trophy he had never held. But 2026 was the final act. Klose's 16-year record fell first. Goal 17, a low drive that silenced a stadium and rewrote a record book. Then 18, then 19, then 20. 20 goals, a number that required 5 tournaments, 36 years of World Cup history to surpass, and a left foot that never once looked like it belonged to a mortal human being. Lionel Messi did not just win the World Cup. He became the World Cup. Every record, every stage, every defining moment, his 96 years, 32 nations, hundreds of thousands of players, and in the end, the record belongs to one man from Rosario, Argentina, who was once told his body was too small for the game. The World Cup has always been football's harshest mirror. It shows you exactly who a player is when there is nowhere left to hide. These 10 men looked into that mirror, and it reflected something extraordinary back. The record may stand for another generation, or someone is already warming up somewhere, 6 years old, barefoot on a street in São Paulo, or Lagos or Madrid, who will one day rewrite it again. That's the thing about football's greatest stage. The story never really ends.